Welcome to the Capitol Center for this 1987 ACC Tournament semifinal matchup between Wake Forest and North Carolina State. Let's join Tim Brando and Dick Vitale with the starting lineups right here on ESPN Classic.
There are the matchups in this game. Shackelford down low versus Bogues outside. Is that the way you see it, Coach?
I really do, Tim. The penetration of Bogues has certainly got to be a concern of Jim Valvano. And on the other side, Bobby Stack, the coach of Wake Forest, has got to find a player defensively who can shut down Shackelford down on the interior.
And the long toss controlled out to Wake Forest. Quickly, let's set their lineups. Tyrone Bogues starting at the point. Ivy down low. Rod Watson along with, and you see down inside there, Greg Keith, the pivot man. He's got the ball at the high post. And also, Mark Klein rounds out the starting five for Wake Forest. Already a foul early, picked up by Vinny Del Negro. North Carolina State in white, starting with Charles Shackelford, Benny Bolden, Walker Lambiot. Quentin Jackson, number 35, will be the point guard for Jimmy Valvano's crew. And Vinny Del Negro will be at the off-guard spot, the outside shooter for the Wolfpack.
Wake Forest with that big comeback win yesterday over the second seed Clemson team after being down by 15.
Great spurt, a 15-0 run. Midway in the second half, the catalyst.
Led by the little guy, Tyrone Muggsy Bogues.
Mark Klein actually had the rebound, then had it, the loose ball hit his head, but he controlled it.
Look at Muggsy. It was a double team.
And losing it is Keith inside to Del Negro, and Greg Keith gets a personal foul.
Kitley played outstanding against North Carolina State in their last meeting. He had 12 points, 9 rebounds, a 6'11" will come off the bench. He tries to drive the bounce pass in.
Be ready.
No score. We played 48 seconds.
Del Negro sent the game in overtime in their last meeting when Bobby Stack would love to have it over again. If he would have fouled them late in the game with like about 2 or 3 seconds, they would have won the ball game even if he would have converted the 2 free throws. I've been screaming about that all year with that 3-point lead late in the game.
And another turnover. So neither team off to an outstanding start, to say the least, here, as we've had a couple of turnovers on both ends.
Tim, what I mean by that is if there's less than 15 seconds on the clock and you're up 3, I think the 3-point shot is too high of a percentage shot to allow them to shoot it in a possible overtime. I would prefer to foul and let him make the 2 fouls and then get the ball out of bounds.
Greg Keith with a real brick.
He's a limited offensive player. He's a kid who's going to have to work during the summer to really develop as an athlete.
Bolton from outside. He was hot last night early and played with 4 fouls down the stretch in the NC State.
Oh, what a pass.
Ivy missed the chip shot, and that's what makes Tyrone Bogues lose a little hair during the course of the season. He's made all imagine the assists he'd have if he had had more help down on the blocks. Shackelford.
He's a one-man defense. He just roams all over the court.
And there's Quentin Jackson with the rebound over Bogues.
Jackson not really an offensive threat, so notice how Bogues is wandering right now. See, there he is doubling him up inside.
Shackelford with the right hand, and it's 2-0. NC State, after a 2-minute drought of offense, gets the game's first points.
They're going to have a very difficult time matching up defensively on Shackelford. Keith can't play him man-to-man.
Nice pass from Klein inside to Ivy. He missed another one. Out of bounds, last touched by Ivy, and Wake Forest will hold on to it.
Ivy's been a premier player for Wake Forest. He's a freshman, second to J.R. Reed as an outstanding performer in this league. From out of Missouri, was co-basketball player of the year in the state of Missouri with Anthony Bonner out of St. Louis. There's the little guy.
Tyrone Bogues
shoots that rainbow J. Gets good arc on it. Look at him rotate. He's roaming all over defensively.
Just inside the 3-point line with that one, and it's 2-2.
Del Negro, good shooter. Not what you would call a point guard, more a scorer.
Vinny Del Negro working a little 2-man game here with Shackelford. Good reverse pivot, but a bad shot forced it up. And the rebound out to Klein, and Muggsy Bogues trying to create and innovate, as Coach Vitale oftentimes says.
He's the 3D man. He drives, he draws, and he dishes. Always wants the ball. Look at him all over the floor. He accounts.
Oh, did he leave Quentin Jackson there? Nice dish to Ivy.
That's what I'm talking about, the 3D man. He drives, he draws the defense to him, and then he dishes the rock. He accounted for, during the regular season, 51% of the Wake Forest offense.
There's a steal. Watson's shot won't fall. Chucky Brown with the rebound.
Rather than push for the open layup, Watson decided to go for 3. He wanted a trifecta.
The winner of this game matches up against North Carolina for the ACC Tournament Championship.
Quentin Jackson's been what we called yesterday a stabilizer.
Bolden for 3.
Benny Bolden with a long-range jumper from out of DeMatha. He and Quentin Jackson played at DeMatha down the road here for Morgan Wooten.
They have to have that from Benny Bolden if they are to entertain any thought of having a chance in this game or any game in the ACC. When he's on, North Carolina State can beat almost anyone in this league outside of perhaps Carolina, many believe. Chucky Brown with a foul. Kitley will now come into the game for Keith.
There's the ball down inside. Chucky Brown's going to body up on him.
And Chucky Brown picks up the personal foul. He and Walker Lambiot being shuttled now at the starting position. Lambiot getting the start yesterday. Chucky Brown had an outstanding second half. And he gets the starting nod from Coach V today.
Ivy with the conversion right there from out of Missouri. Another great win by Norm Stewart. Hey, Button had a great game, a freshman from the Motor City. His dad was Bill Button, the former All-American at Michigan. He died of a heart attack. He'd be proud of his son, Nathan.
Wake has the 1-point lead early on.
If you've had a heart attack caused by a completely blocked artery, another heart attack could be lurking, waiting to strike. A heart attack caused by a clot, one that could be fatal. But Plavix helps save lives. Plavix, taken with other heart medicines, goes beyond what other heart medicines do alone to provide greater protection against heart attack or stroke and even death by helping to keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots. Ask your doctor about Plavix, protection that helps save lives.
People with stomach ulcers or other conditions that cause bleeding should not use Plavix. Taking Plavix alone or with some other medicines, including aspirin, may increase bleeding risk, so tell your doctor when planning surgery. Certain genetic factors and some medicines, such as Prilosec, may affect how Plavix works. Tell your doctor all the medicines you take, including aspirin, especially if you've had a stroke. If fever, unexplained weakness, or confusion develops, tell your doctor promptly. These may be signs of TTP, a rare but potentially life-threatening condition reported sometimes less than 2 weeks after starting Plavix. Other rare but serious side effects may occur.
Attention drivers, has your manufacturer's warranty expired or is it about to expire? How will you pay the hundreds, even thousands of dollars needed to get your car back on the road? Quick Cash 123 is here to help you with your financial needs. If your vehicle is less than 15 years old and has less than 200,000 miles on it, then we may still be able to offer you repair protection. Call now and we will connect you with one of our preferred extended protection providers. You choose the coverage and we'll tailor a plan to fit your budget.
There's no obligation. Call 800-402-7117 now.
It's not about politics or religion or the economy. It's not about oil, water, global warming, global pandemics, elections, sanctions, communism, socialism or capitalism, war or peace, love or hate. This is about the 1 month every 4 years when we all agree on one thing. 32 nations, one world watching. 2010 FIFA World Cup.
We are at the Cap Center in Landover, Maryland. Tim Brando and Dick Vitale, a bit out of breath, but trying to get back on track with game number 2 of the semifinals of the ACC tournament. In case you missed it, and if you did, it's a shame North Carolina and Virginia went to double overtime today before the Tar Heels were able to steal one away. We're at the Cap Center. Tyrone Bogues with the rebound, and Wake Forest looking for a 3-point lead. Klein on the line. It will count only 2. It's a 3-point lead now for Wake.
The assist by Bogues with his ability to push the ball up the floor. He's got that great coast-to-coast speed, constantly putting pressure on the defense.
Just as Benny Bolden means a lot to North Carolina State, so does Klein from outside. Jackson for 3.
They're not even playing him. They're going to allow him to shoot the ball. Bogues is not even guarding. Look at the pressure he puts on the defense. I mean, he blows right by him.
Benny Del Negro with the near steal. They swing it again out to Klein. He's fouled by Bolden.
Could have been a 4-point opportunity.
Benny got into early foul difficulty yesterday. Spent a lot of time on the pine in the first half. Then came back to play with 4 fouls and did rather well, considering that fact, against Duke. And Cal Boyd entering the game now for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
Boyd, a pretty good shooter. Originally claimed that he was going to go to Tulane when they dropped the program. Came here to Wake Forest. He's a streaky player. If he hits his first 2 or 3, he can be very effective from the perimeter.
Another left-hander in the game. So we have Bolden from outside that will launch with the left hand, as does Boyd. Again, the penetration by Bogues to Klein. Count it. And it's 10-5 Wake Forest.
Klein has had a good year this year from out of Williamson, West Virginia, who's Mr. West Virginia in basketball in high school.
Injury riddled throughout his career. Bolden's shot won't fall. Kitley with the outlet to Cal Boyd. And he'll wait for some help.
Kitley right now wide open. They missed him.
Boyd.
Oh, if he gets it going, there's a 3-pointer. The trifecta by Mr. Boyd.
13-5. And Bob Stack, who once played under Jim Valvano back east. Valvano was an assistant coach in those early days.
Played for D. Rowe, one of the real bright minds in basketball. R-O-W-E, now an administrator at the University of Connecticut. Highly thought of as a coach during his coaching days.
Del Negro with the quick turnaround. Bolden follows with the right hand, and that's the one that's taped up, that right wrist area. Bolden going with the offhand to make it a 6-point game.
Bolton, not normally a good rebounder. He's basically a scorer from out at the perimeter. North Carolina State, it's a big game in terms of an NCAA bid right now. I believe if they win this game, they're a lock for it, where Wake Forest has to win here and then beat the guys from out of Chapel Hill.
What a tall order that would be, even for the likes of a Muggsy Bogues, who can start so much offensively. But again, give Wake Forest some credit. They played everybody well at home, included in that North Carolina. We're down by only 4 at Greensboro with about 4 minutes left before the Tar Heels won the game convincingly in the last few moments. Out of bounds, and again, North Carolina State will hold on to it as Bogues last touched it.
What's interesting, they've lost 5 games in overtime. They were 0-5 in overtime during the regular season. And you take a look at Jimmy Valvano in his march again for an NCAA tournament. We talked about how he likes the big game. He's got that theatrical ability and always getting his teams to rise, like the guy down at Baton Rouge. Yeah. Dale Brown, the preacher man, did it again today in double overtime. Dale Brown wielding that magical wand again.
That's 21 wins for him after beating Georgia by 1. We chronicled that for you back at our studios with John Saunders, and of course we'll be hearing from him a bit later on.
John doing a great job in the studio. He and Bob Lee are anchoring and handling that thing very effectively. They're like Muggsy Bogues and Kenny Smith.
Jackson inside to Chucky Brown. Count it. Kitley picks up the foul.
That's where they have a difficult time, trying to defend on a post in the interior. They do not possess really strong baseline performers. We're going to see the good angle on the entry. They're going to dump it right down. Chucky with a good leg, strong inside, gets great position on Kitley and is able to take that drop step and score. Kitley had a career against North Carolina State. Prior to that game, he really was very non-productive. But he came on, 12 points, 9 rebounds, and now has earned some PT.
And he had a difficult time, obviously, quite a chore last night, rotating 3 men during the course of the game against Clemson, against Horace Grant, and now another tall order against Charles Shackelford, though the Shaq's machine is getting some pine time right now with Walker Lambiot and Mike Giommi in the game. Tony Black with the quick first step, cut off by Giommi.
Black, a good athlete, he's got good quickness, jumping ability, a freshman. He's got some good freshman players.
Just for 2, that shot. Off the back iron, controlled to Vinny Del Negro. Interesting lineup for both clubs. Finesse and short lineup, really, for both teams.
Bogues now playing Del Negro, trying to post him inside.
Dickens has size, as does Kitley, but once again, you got to believe that Giommi and company can body up well with those guys. They do have a weight advantage. Lambiot caught in midair by Black. Good recognition, though, to get it back out to Jackson.
Bogues trying to denying the ball, not allowing. Look, he wants to post him. They throw the high lob, and look at the steal. How many times you see that happen? Teams try to force the action, try to take advantage of the size differential. Hey, Bogues may be 5'3", but down there in a post with his quickness and his hands. See, they're going to try and take advantage. There goes Del Negro. He's posted. He said, come on, give me the rock. The little guy can't handle me. And they bop the ball. Del Negro says, where's the rock? And the little guy said, I have it.
Wake may be waking up here in the ACC tournament. They have an early 3-point lead over NC State.
This is where legends are born, where legends are born, legends are born.
One of the most impressive performances in NBA Finals history.
The NBA's second season.
This is where teams are made and make history.
Where 16 wins separate the great from the immortal.
The teams are made and make history.
The NBA playoffs, Hawks Bucks, and Lakers Thunder, Friday on ESPN.
You're stuck on a treadmill. You're making minimum payments on your credit cards, and you just don't get anywhere. Let Consolidated Credit tell you the truth. When credit card companies are charging high interest, it's virtually impossible to pay off your debt. Let's say you owe $5,000 and your rate is 21%. Of your $100 minimum payment, $87 is interest. It'll take you over 33 years to pay off that debt. Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest. Get off the treadmill. Get on with your life. Call Consolidated Credit. They're the freedom people.
Call toll-free 1-800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
This is a made-to-order menu for a guy like Dick Vitale, a basketball junkie. Don't touch your dial today. After this is over, championship week continues. The PCAA comes up at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. San Jose State against UNLV. 9 p.m. we have Wyoming and New Mexico as we take you out to the WAC. And then Idaho State and Nevada Reno coming up at 11 p.m. Eastern Time.
That Big Sky's had so many upsets. The top 3 seeds have all been sent bye-bye.
Ivy's shot won't fall. You and I may have to order up some pizza after the game and go watch some more at the hotel.
Interesting matchup, Vegas and San Jose State. Bill Berry, the coach, has an outstanding player named Ricky Berry, 6'8", and he can do it all. He's a member of my old Magic Johnson team. Versatile.
Those games will mean tournament berths.
They can't handle Shaq from inside. Shaq, as we talked about it yesterday, I think would even be more effective if he would drop step and power the ball to the basket.
Wake leading it by 2, 25-23.
Walking violation. Lenny Wirtz with the no. Tom Frame with the call.
Rod Watson taking the extra step. Muggsy Bogues on the pine. Foul difficulty, forcing him there, and that's obviously given Valvano an opportunity to bring in Kelsey Weems, give guys like Quentin Jackson, Vinny Del Negro some extra time to breathe. Vinny is in the game, though, and he's heard from right there. 3 points for Vinny Del Negro, and NC State grabs the lead, 26-25, just over 6 minutes left in the first half.
Del Negro, long-range shooter.
Ivy with the roll.
Keith. Technical, grabbing her.
Keith was on the rim.
Somebody was grabbing that rim.
Keith went up and grabbed the rim. I believe the ball would have fallen even without the help from Keith here.
Here's the little jumper by Ivy. Now he's holding on a rim. No technical.
You're right. No technical call. No basket either. I think Keith cost his club a basket that time. Del Negro negotiates. And the Wolfpack now up by 3.
Strong power move by Del Negro using his left hand with the drive on the baseline. Just demonstrated a little bit of versatility. Shot the long-range jumper, and now the drive.
NC State now on an 11-0 run as Wake Forest has hit a drought without Bogues. Watson ending the drought, and they trail now by 1.
Watson's got a lot of offensive ammunition.
5 minutes, 25 seconds left with Bogues out of the lineup. You know that Bob Stack is now gambling just a bit.
See, he's got to learn to wheel to the goal. See that little fall-away jump shot? Not a good shot by Shackelford.
Del Negro in among the trees, and he gets hacked inside. Bart Klein picked up the foul, it appeared.
Del Negro getting a lot of playing time now, especially with Kenny Drummond out of the scene. Drummond, who quit the team. There's a look at the entrepreneur. Sartorio's splendid today. He's really decked out, James T.
Hey, I know you're envious of Valvano, and it just hit me why. You'd love to have his head of hair.
No, you're wrong.
Yeah,
I'd like to have his bank account. I'd like to have his bank account. I guarantee you that. Not his hair. Bald is beautiful. Don't forget it. Raquel Welch said that one time.
Oprah Winfrey had a show on that just the other day. I caught it. You're right. Now I know why you're so appealing. Ivy down low over Shackelford. No whistle again. Awfully physical down there.
Oh, look at Del Negro around the back. Little showtime. He says, hey, Bogues, how do I look? Bogues is dying to play. You can see the intensity on his face. He hates sitting on that bench.
Quentin Jackson has re-entered the game. Kelsey Weems is out.
See, Jackson's not going to beat you and create numbers, but he's going to get the ball to the right people. He's going to get good tempo, good flow.
Del Negro from deep. Rebound cleared to Ivy, and the turnover, perhaps, a foul on Giomi. Lenny Wirtz made the call as Kitley was there for the quick recovery.
And he looks over at his coach. There's Jimmy Valvano. If he were to win today and he hooks up against Dean Smith, you have Dean Smith, a purist as a coach. That would be really like comparing Shakespeare versus Mickey Spillane. And you know who Mickey Spillane would be.
Absolutely.
Not Dean Smith.
At times he was a bit animated today in that first semifinal game. But after he drew the technical, game shifted in his club's direction. And they eventually won it in double overtime. Kitley looking for Boyd outside. Still a threat from the outside and away from the ball. Avi Lester hooking up down deep with Ivy.
Lester's a kid with a world of potential. He's going to have to get into the weight room, get on the Nautilus, build up that body of his, and really put a lot of time in the summer playground playing a lot of basketball. He's got a lot of things you can't teach. He can block shots, he can score around the basket.
Freshman from Roxborough, North Carolina. Wake Forest hanging tough, Dick, without Tyrone Bogues. They're only down by one. And another foul down deep.
Called on Kitley, I believe, number 33, trying to establish position, pushed off.
Don't you believe, though, that Bob Stack is a bit satisfied? You see they're working on Shackelford right now. He's getting taped up by the Wolfpack trainers. This will be a shooting foul, but with a one-point game and Bogues sitting for the last 6 or 7 minutes, if you're Bob Stack, you have to feel pretty good right now.
Well, definitely. He's got Bogues on his sideline. He's trying to protect them in terms of he's got 2, doesn't want him to get the third here. But if they would get away a little bit right now, Bob's got to make a decision because he doesn't want Carolina State to get that spurt to be able to break away and go in at halftime, maybe 7 or 8 down.
Just under 4 minutes left in the first half. And Giomi's shot doesn't fall this time, and it's now a 2-point game. Black has entered the game again for Wake Forest.
Ralph Kitley looks like he's really developing. He's getting more authoritative. He's playing with more aggressiveness.
Black off the screen from Ivy. Knocks the game at 29.
He's out of Florence, North Carolina. Averaged 6 points a game. He's had some really good games for Wake Forest this year. Black and Ivy, 2 good-looking freshmen.
Del Negro finds Chucky Brown, who penetrates. Lester and Ivy again down low, and they'll go the other way after another foul. Lester picks up number 2.
There's the little jump shot by Chucky Brown. Now the ball comes off the glass. There's a little push by Avi Lester.
And now in the bonus, both clubs. And it's 1-and-1 time for Sam Ivy. And Benny Bolden will now enter the game once again. You see Shackelford, I think he's ready to come off the rack and get back into the game.
He's got a new hairstyle, too. He's changed his hairstyle from earlier in the year.
Yeah, he had almost that Carl Lewis look at one time. Sort of that, what do they call that, the fade? Well, you wouldn't know. That's right. You wouldn't know that about that hairdo.
I stay away from hairstyles.
Giommi clears it. 3:12 now left in the first half.
The pace of this game, the intensity, and the kind of contact that took place in that first game, what a difference. Virginia, North Carolina, that's one of the great games of the year today.
Brown lost it in midair. He wanted the jam, lost control, and Jackson with the pickpocket. And he puts it through, and that's where not having Tyrone Bogues really hurts Wake Forest.
Q takes the ball to the goal, goes up strong. Bogues looks at him like, said, you better get the deuce now, because when I come on the floor, you're not getting it.
Still, though, Wake Forest down by just 2 with 2:35 left. Kitley spins and whirls. He's fouled by Giommi.
Kitley's a freshman who's going to be a player. He's another guy that's got to make a commitment. So you look at Kitley, you look at Tony Black and Sam Ivey. You had some great recruits coming here next year. A kid by the name of Derek Keys from out of Marion, Indiana, where they have a tremendous program under Bill Green, one of the outstanding high school programs in the nation. In fact, 2 of their great players, a kid by the name of Lyndon Jones and Jay Edwards, will be playing for the General Bob Knight. They got another kid they signed, Robert Seiler. You ready for this? Some people say he could be a Tony Dorsett of football, but he's decided he wants to concentrate on basketball. He's from out of Jordan Matthews High School in Siler City, North Carolina. And they say, what a vertical jump and an athlete. Bobby Stack can't wait to get him in the uniform.
And our score now with 2:29 left. NC State 31 and Wake Forest 30. They're hopeful of a tournament championship home.
Imagine being at 30,000 feet with a plane full of kids and you have a heart attack. That's what happened to me. They said the quick thinking of chewing an aspirin probably kept me alive while I was on the plane. I'm on an aspirin regimen now. My doctor told me it's the easiest preventative thing you can do.
Aspirin is not appropriate for everyone, so be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
To take care of yourself, to take care of your heart, see your doctor. Simple.
Learn more about protecting your heart at IamProHeart.com.
IRS problems? Associated Tax Relief can help you. What you're about to see and hear is real.
Associated Tax Relief got me a settlement of $500. This company really does what they say they're going to do.
We owed the IRS over $135,000.
All we did was hire the right people to work for us. Associated Tax saved us $99,000.
Associated Tax Relief has helped taxpayers settle their tax debt for less than what they owed.
We owed the IRS over $82,000 in back taxes.
Associated Tax Relief's attorney was a former IRS agent who knew what to do.
His hard work settled our tax debt for only $4,600.
Thousands of taxpayers across the nation have put their trust in Associated Tax Relief.
I owed nearly $115,000 and needed help fast. Associated Tax settled my tax debt for way less than what I owed. They saved me over $93,000.
Yes, you can solve your IRS problems, and yes, we can help you.
For a free consultation, call 888-775-9482 now.
The NASCAR Nationwide Series at Richmond, Friday at 7 Eastern on ESPN2.
Look at the points down in the paint. North Carolina State with the great advantage because of the presence of Shackelford. And there's the shooting. 13 for 29 versus 12 for 23.
And again, remember, Wake Forest down by only 1, and Muggsy Bogues on the bench the last 9 minutes. And another steal in the backcourt. Del Negro perhaps an over and back there. Moreau, and yet Lenny Wirtz caught it.
Yeah, Lenny Wirtz did. Both feet in the ball must be across the timeline, the midcourt line.
Then he did a good ad-lib job there, but he couldn't convince Lenny Wirtz.
Take a look right here. Oh, yeah, his foot comes across the line, then he comes back over. It's about a Springfield, Mass, the place of the Hall of Fame.
Charles Shackelford limping a bit, but ready to check in the next dead ball situation. Boyd past Jackson, and Bolton brings down the rebound for NC State. 1:35 left, the Wolfpack with the lead. Wake had led much of the first half, and then while we were away checking action from the Metro Conference, Bogues picked up a second and third foul, and he's on the bench.
Kitley very active. I can see how he got 9 rebounds in that last meeting. He's a real hustling kind of player.
Benny Del Negro got a hand on that one, knocking it away from Tony Black.
Here's a look at Bogues. He's missed so many minutes today. Remember, he's averaged 39.5 minutes a game. He's accounted for over 51% of the offense of Wake Forest. If you look at points scored and the assists, which are in direct relation to a score for a Wake Forest player.
Off the back iron is Klein, and Black went up the back of Benny Bolden, so NC State will have a 1-and-1 opportunity.
A win here could solidify a shot for Wake Forest to get into the NIT. They'd have to win both games to get in the NCAA. There's the jump shot by Klein, and there's the contact. But North Carolina State with a win here would give them 19, would give them 6 straight wins, going in on a little bit of a high. But what a drought they had down the end of the year. They were such a disappointing team after a great early season start.
In fact, we had these two clubs, you and I, back in the early portion of January, and the two played at Raleigh. And at that time, NC State was on a 11-game, they were on an 11-game tear, actually. 9 out of 11 games they had won at that time. Shortly thereafter, they hit that dry spell. It was a very difficult late January, early February for Jim Valvano.
Well, he overscheduled. I mean, they played some really tough people. When you look at the Oklahomas and the Louisvilles and some of their independent games were against really talented clubs.
Bobby Crimmins may be a victim of overscheduling.
Well,
he had a very difficult schedule this year, and Kelsey Weems will come back into the game now, replacing Benny Bolden.
He only played, I think, 11 home games and like about 17 on the road, and that is tough for anyone. And he might have played himself or scheduled himself out of the NCAA. I think North Carolina State could really hurt them with a win here today. Even though you and I know Georgia Tech's certainly one of the best 64 teams in America.
No doubt about it. Kitley down low. Shackelford fouls him. Kitley doing a creditable job down there.
Yeah, I tried to point it out a little bit earlier about his aggressiveness, and that's an example of it. You watch him right here. Here's a guy with limited foot speed. Oh, he gets hand checked first of all. Should have been a foul. There he is now, keeping the ball alive. A little pump fake, goes inside. He just out-hustles the North Carolina State people. A little laziness here by Shackelford. Shackelford now really quick to the ball, and he beats him to the ball.
I remember he had that ankle taped as well in defense of Shackelford, but you're right. He was beaten by a player that you would not think had as good a first step as Charles Shackelford.
Valvano was certainly animated yesterday against Duke and Mike Krzyzewski's team.
When you put together the games that we've seen, Clemson and Wake, Duke and NC State, and now today Virginia, North Carolina, you can't ask for a better tournament. And Maryland played Carolina as well as they could for 20 minutes yesterday in the first game of the ACC tournament. Carolina obviously won the game against Maryland, and then today, and just what was one of the most outstanding ACC tournament games that Dick Vitale and yours truly have ever seen. They edged out Virginia in double overtime.
Maryland's going to be a different team under Bob Wade in the future, with Brian Williams committed at 6'10". If they get little Rudy Archer from out of Allegheny Junior College here in Maryland, the best junior college player in America, and he's considering Maryland. They add Keith Gatlin back in their lineup next year. Derek Lewis. Hey, Cedric Lewis, the brother of Derek, is considering either Wake Forest or Maryland.
See the time remaining. And a 5-second differential on the shot clock. That's the game clock you see in the lower right-hand portion of your screen. Jackson takes Boyd down to the baseline to feed Shackelford, and the foul on Sam Ivey.
North Carolina State doing a good job in their tempo, utilizing a lot of the clock, and I really believe that responsibility is being handled very well by this guy. Now here's Jackson now. He's going to kick it back out. He knows where Shackelford is. He drives the bounce pass to him. He draws the contact. Long arm. Shackelford came out of the high school that produced Cornbread Maxwell. Cedric, who was a great player for North Carolina's Charlotte, led him to the Final Four back in 1977.
Oh, what a memory.
Well, the reason I remember that, we were in the tournament that year and lost to Michigan, #1 in the country, and North Carolina Charlotte beat Syracuse and went on and then beat Michigan and went on to the Final Four.
You know, I didn't know you then, but I was in Baton Rouge, and you were in there in the Assembly Center the first round.
And I don't want to give credit to that other guy for winning the national championship in '77, since we mentioned '77.
Right.
And he didn't show up in the building today. He was supposed to be here. That guy, Al McGuire.
like a kamikaze coaching mission at Baton Rouge in '77 with Vitale and McGuire on the sideline. Klein forces it up. It won't fall, and now with just seconds remaining, this shot will not count.
Lenny Wirtz waving it off.
And we've reached intermission in game 2 of the semifinal.
Closed captioning for selected programming is brought to you by Shape Ups.
Get in shape without setting foot in a gym with Shape Ups from Skechers.
I'm Joe Montana, and I spent 16 years playing football, and Shape Ups have improved my strength and posture.
Get in shape. Shape Ups from Skechers.
Ground control. We have a problem. Switching to lithium power.
I feel better already.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium. The world's longest lasting AA battery and high-tech devices. Just got better. Energizer. Keep going.
You're stuck on a treadmill. You're making minimum payments on your credit cards, and you just don't get anywhere. Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest. Get off the treadmill. Get on with your life.
Call toll-free 1-800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
That is Ryan Howard, the big slugger, comes to the plate. He's a pull hitter, and they're going to shift for him around to the right.
Really? Even here.
Even here. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
And we're winding down in the ACC tournament, down to the last 20 minutes of our live coverage today from Landover, Maryland, and right now North Carolina State and Wake Forest, 2 Cinderella stories perhaps in the ACC tournament, locking up North Carolina State with the 3-point lead at halftime. Tyrone Muggsy Bogues sat out for 8 minutes in the first half with 3 fouls. He picked up a quick second and third foul midway in the first half. In the second half in the Big Ten, as we see Bogues now entering the game for the second half, what a story developing in the Big Ten with Purdue trailing 60-24 in that Big Ten game being played today. Michigan, oh, incredible.
That's shocking. I had Michigan against Illinois the other day, and they were blitzed by Illinois. The wacky world of the Big Ten. Hey, they got to be happy down in Bloomington, Indiana. Indiana's won already. That means a tie for the title. And Indiana has got to feel really good about Michigan helping them out.
That also means a great deal for the #1 seeding out of the Big Ten. One of the top 4 seeds, and Purdue had that locked up if they had won today. Now all of a sudden, who goes to Indianapolis? That's a real key factor to watch as the tournament bids come out tomorrow. As we come back to our play here, Walker Lambiot picks up the foul against Muggsy Bogues, who's spread eagle on the hardwood.
Bogues goes down to the deck. I was misinformed. I thought Bogues had 3, but I was told that he had 2, but he really had 3. That's why Bob Stack kept him out of the game. Missed 8.5 minutes of action, Tim, and he's averaging 39.5 minutes a game. You know he hated to sit down. Hey, as far as that Indiana thing and Purdue, I'll get back to that. There's some interesting news that I have concerning them.
Bogues looking down low. We picked up that Bogues had his 3rd foul moments after we had chronicled that he had 2. That had a lot to do with the first half of play, and it was a 16-6 run while Bogues was away. And now, just that quickly, Vinny Del Negro and Benny Bolton are down.
There's the ball being reversed. Del Negro looks like he makes, oh, there's an offensive foul. They get him for it, and then Del Negro trips over his teammate. Tom Frame with the call, gets the offensive foul.
They can't afford to lose Vinny Del Negro. He has been.
You mean North Carolina State with his shooting ability?
Yeah, that's no question. If they lose him, it really hurts them down the stretch of this game because they need his consistency offensively.
He's such a good shooter. Let's take another look right here. We're going to see the offensive foul inside. There's number 40 pushing off. And there's Bolton going to the deck, and they nail him for it. They get him. Look, he looks at the official. Tom Frame said, don't look at me. I got you, Sam. I got you. Sam said, oh, he nailed me.
Second foul on Ivy. Del Negro, that's good news on most of his own power going to the sideline.
There's a 5-way tiebreaker to determine who gets the #1 slot coming out of the Big Ten. Purdue and Indiana are tied in 4 basic categories out of the Big Ten in terms of the fact of splitting with each other. All the point totals against each other of both games is identical, 142 points each. Well, it gets down to the fifth one. And the fifth one, they would have identical records, except Purdue has a win over a Division II team, Tampa, and Indiana, all of their wins are against Division I teams. So Indiana would get the nod, but I believe the committee could determine it based on schedule strength, etc. But according to the Big Ten, Indiana would be the #1 team out of the Big Ten, even though they both share the title as co-champs.
And North Carolina State playing volleyball with it down low. Chucky Brown finally buried it. 36-31 North Carolina State.
Chucky Brown's got the bounce. He's got that bounce like the Spalding rubber ball. He can bounce right off the floor. You know that pink ball you used to play stick ball with as a kid? I used to make like Willie Mays.
High off the top of the backboard is Watson, hauled in by Shackelford.
We won't describe that shot. I promise I wouldn't say that was an all-time brick throw.
Bolton with a nice entry to Shackelford. Klein with the good defensive play, swatting it out of bounds.
You know, talking to Dean Smith before the game, as he watched Shackelford look hobbling, he told me he thought Michigan would beat Purdue at Michigan based on the embarrassment they suffered against Illinois. He thought psychologically and emotionally Bill Frieda's kids would be able to win that game at home coming back, and they looked so poor against Illinois.
Shackelford.
Oh, Shaq.
That was a stationary set bank shot.
Shaq. Try that one in the NBA. It'll be Wilson sandwich time. Kareem says bingo.
That reminds me of your jump shot. He really obviously affected by that bad left leg. He just did not get off of the ground at all when putting that one through. Klein with the same type of shot as Shackelford's.
I like the way Bogues finds the open man. He knows exactly where Klein is on the floor. They go to a little trap.
5-point lead now for the Wolfpack. Jimmy Valvano anxiously awaiting a possible tournament berth tomorrow. He must come up with a win here, though, first. And there's a foul on Klein. Bodying up against Benny Bolton, Mark's second foul.
Hey, Tim, you know why this game is so important to Wake Forest? Right now, they're at 500. As you watch the ball being reversed, they're at 500 at 14-14. A win here would make them 15-14, and even if they lose, as they should against North Carolina, they're 500 and could get a bid because of the ACC to the NIT. I don't believe the NIT will take a team who is subpar the 500 level. And plus for Bob Stack, it would mean a non-losing season. So this game is bigger than just an ACC tournament game to Wake Forest.
Absolutely, and there's a steal by Quentin Jackson of Muggsy Bogues. And Q says take that. And you can tell in the last sequence down the floor, Charles Shackelford, the lead pass, he couldn't get to it, Dick. That time, though, he goes up with the left hand. Ivy with the rebound. He's affected right now.
North Carolina State winning the ugly way, a la the Chicago White Sox.
And count the basket. The foul on Jackson. John Moreau made the call. Now there's Tom Frame and Moreau getting together, so it's perhaps a correctable judgment here.
It's a big call right here because it could be the fourth foul on Bogues, and there is Jackson rotating over. Valvano is signaling behind his head. Player control foul. Player control charge. Look at him watching.
Oh, Bob Stack knows it.
He knows the game is at stake with this one little call. If this guy goes out with number 4.
I believe that Tom Frame is going to overrule Moreau here. Here it is again.
Here he goes. Here goes Bogues. Little shake and bake. Oh, he runs him down. He definitely runs him down. Good defensive play by Q. Jackson right there to take the charge. Remember this, you have to face an offensive player defensively. Both feet have to be on the floor to have a legal defensive position, and then you're allowed to move defensively as long as you beat the offensive player to the spot. The crowd boos. Bogues goes to the sideline with number 4.
So John Moreau's call overruled by Tom Frame, who had a better look at it, and it means that the basket does not count. Wake Forest controls it. Ivy puts it through. Count that one. Walker Lambiot gets the foul.
I like Ivy, the way he operates down on a baseline. Ivy gets the good post position inside. She wheeled to go without the dribble. Most guys want to take that little dribble. That's the power move where you thrust off both feet from the bounce off the floor. Look at Bogues right there. He had 3 of those fouls called on him by Lenny Wirtz. He can see eye level with Wirtz. That's about the only guy he can see eye level with. He'd like to play Wirtz one-on-one and take him to the hole.
So 3-point game now, but Muggsy Bogues back on the pine. Puts a lot of pressure on Wake Forest down low, and Cal Boyd outside has entered the game for Tyrone.
He can't allow right now Bobby Stack, North Carolina State, to get a spurt and to break this game open, because he's got a tough decision with his offense sitting next to him. His offense plus his defense plus the heart of the team is sitting on the sideline. Tyrone Muggsy Bogues.
Ryan got the foul. NC State holding on to it. Shackelford and Lambiot now the work to give and go. Shackelford follows.
The Shack really limping, trying to gut it out. He's in a lot of pain. Look at the kid.
Del Negro out of the game with an injury as well.
If North Carolina State were to win this game, physically, I don't know if they'd be able to even compete with North Carolina tomorrow. Nice play. Here comes the spurt. Here comes the spurt. Bob Stack's got to make some interesting decisions right now. One, do I get a timeout? Two, do I get my man Bogues back on the floor?
Quentin Jackson with a beautiful feed there. We've played 4.5 minutes of the second half. The state lead, which was 3 at intermission, is now up to 7.
That was an excellent trail play by Giomi.
Greg Keith hammered by Lambiot.
There's Wirtz with the call. He's quick. He's a little showbiz, but I like Lenny Wirtz. This crew is excellent as well. Moreau and also Tom Frame.
We got timeout.
And with 15 minutes and 18 seconds left, NC State by 7.
IRS problems? Associated Tax Relief can help you. What you're about to see and hear is real.
Associated Tax Relief got me a settlement of $500. This company really does what they say they're going to do.
We owed the IRS over $135,000.
All we did was hire the right people to work for us. Associated Tax saved us $99,000.
Associated Tax Relief has helped taxpayers settle their tax debt for less than what they owed.
We owed the IRS over $82,000 in back taxes.
Associated Tax Relief's attorney was a former IRS agent who knew what to do.
His hard work settled our tax debt for only $4,600.
Thousands of taxpayers across the nation have put their trust in Associated Tax Relief.
I owed nearly $115,000 and needed help fast. Associated Tax settled my tax debt for way less than what I owed. They saved me over $93,000.
Yes, you can solve your IRS problems, and yes, we can help you.
For a free consultation, call 888-775-9482 now.
This is where legends are born, where legends are born, legends are born.
One of the most impressive performances in NBA Finals history.
The NBA's second season. This is where teams are made and make history. Where 16 wins separate the great from the immortal. The teams are made and make history. The NBA playoffs, Hawks Bucks, and Lakers Thunder, Friday on ESPN.
Back to the Capitol Center in just a moment, but first we want to update you in the Pac-10. There's been an altercation at Pauley Pavilion here. Walt Hazzard apparently thought there would be a fight. He rushed onto the court to break it up. Lou Campanelli thought Walt Hazzard was going after one of his players, and as you can see, an altercation ensued. The benches emptied. Things like this getting a little bit ugly at Pauley Pavilion, but the coaches worked things out, shake hands, and it's all over.
All right, John, thank you very much. Big doings over in the Pac-10 between feisty Lou Campanelli and the always dangerous Walt Hazzard. Here, our score 42-39 now in favor of NC State.
Hey, Tim, I got a story about those two guys. There's not too much love there. Don't invite them to the same party. Last year when California broke their long losing streak, which they had over X number of years. I don't remember the specifics, but when they beat UCLA for the first time, they celebrated. They had champagne. They had champagne and ice. And Walt Hazzard wasn't too happy about that. So when he beat Lou Campanelli in a return match back down at Pauley Pavilion, there was some words unraveled out of Mr. Hazzard's mouth. And I'll tell you one thing, Campanelli is a fighter, but so is Mr. Hazzard.
Benny Bolden for 3. Shackelford with the follow and the foul on Keith.
Shackelford just playing on a lot of guts right now. You can see the grimace on his face, the pain. He knows this game means an NCAA berth for Jimmy Valvano and the Wolfpack. Now watch this right now. Shackelford is able to get away inside with a nice left-hand tip because he's not facing a lot of experience against him on the interior.
I recall when you and I were at Berkeley for the California-Oregon State game earlier in the year. I think it was something like a quarter century, almost 20, 25 years since California had beaten UCLA in that game you mentioned.
Lou Campanelli is certainly one of the star coaches on the horizon. I really believe he's ready to go on to the next level of coaching in terms of getting that kind of recognition. If he can get those kind of players that California takes to win, he can be a force. The guy can flat out coach.
He may have won the Pac-10 outright had he not lost Leonard Taylor early in the year. And there's a travel call by Lenny Wirtz. Wake Forest, things not going their way right now. Keith having some difficulty down low, bodying up.
Well, they're trying to hang in the game. There's Klein trying to create something, kicks it off to his teammate. A little traveling music. There's another look. There is the West Virginia superstar out of high school, Mark Klein. His dad played at Wake Forest.
There's a hop, skip, and a jump.
They had a player by the name of Todd May who transferred to Pikeville. He's like averaging over 40 points per game. Todd May was Mr. Kentucky in high school basketball, then decided to go to Wake Forest. He's transferred. He's over at Pikeville College, and I mean, he is tearing it up big-time style.
Vinny Del Negro has re-entered the game. He had the twisted ankle earlier.
Oh, I thought he lifted his pivot foot.
Bolton off the screen from Shackelford. Al Boyd forced into duty with the foul difficulty to Muggsy Bogues.
Oh, nice head fake.
Oh, he comes.
Nice play by Key. Hey, if the K&K boys work out all summer, Keith and Kitley, and take those big bodies that the man gave them, I mean, you're looking at 6'11s. They got to get in a weight room, and they got to get mentally tough and get some confidence.
And a confidence builder, perhaps, after the turnover by Keith earlier. Shackelford's shot won't fall. And this time, Benny Bolden and Shackelford picked up the foul. Here's the dish to Keith, and it couldn't have come at a better time for Bob Stack's team.
Nice little pass to the trailer. Boyd gets it to look at the head fake. Oh, did he leave something on the floor? Chucky, you left something on the floor with that head fake. Uh-oh. Too bad we don't have our freeze-its. We got a feed we're working on. What do you call this in television?
A split feed.
Oh, a split feed. Yeah. See, I'm learning all that new terminology. We're not working with our crew.
Ivy puts it down for the deuce.
I'll tell you.
Now it's 46-41 North Carolina State.
No, it's 44-43.
Check that, a 1-point lead now for the Wolfpack as Wake Forest clawing away without Muggsy Bogues.
Tim, I'll tell you one thing, a danger sign right now for Jimmy Valvano's team as Vinny Del Negro drills the J. A danger zone for this reason. The fact that he's been unable to put the knockout punch on Wake Forest without Muggsy Bogues could be scary.
Now it's a three-point game, but just that quickly, Klein answers.
And leading the cheers on the sideline is the little cheerleader now, Muggsy Bogues. I love him. I'll tell you something. I'd like to give him a standing ovation in his last game he plays in college. He's been such a credit to the game and such an example for youngsters out there.
Lambiot's shot won't fall. Del Negro runs it down and puts it down.
The Springfield Rifle is heating it up from out of Springfield, Mass, the home of Ed Stites, the chairman of the committee. I've been a little tough on Ed about that three-point shot. He's really good for basketball and loves the game. Ed, don't worry about a thing. You know you're my buddy.
I knew you'd get that in during the course of the tournament. 48-45 now. The Wolfpack with the three-point advantage.
I still disagree with him, though, on a three-point shot distance.
Ivy inside the lane. Wirtz with the whistle prior to the shot. Chucky Brown, I believe, was whistled down low.
He's going to probably try to get to the 7-minute mark. If he can get to the 7-minute mark, I believe he'll bring in Bogues. That's my feeling. If he can stay within 3 points, 3 to 4, he'll try to wait to that point and then bring him in for the finish. There he is, right out of Dunbar High School, where he won the mythical national championship with Bob Wade, Reggie Williams, Silky Smooth, Reggie Lewis, Michael Brown, now at Clemson, and a host of others.
You see the time remaining now, 11-13. Muggsy Bogues anxiously awaiting his moment.
You know, Bob Wade would love to have every kid that's playing college basketball now with him at Maryland. Gary Graham, don't forget about him, an outstanding defender for Jerry Tarkanian's running Rebels, who have a great shot for the national title because of the three-point shot.
Jimmy Valvano smelling it, needing it terribly. And you know, when you stop and think about it, even though we had that great game earlier today won by Carolina in double overtime, it's been a long while since we've had a semifinal in the ACC, Dick, where both teams were playing just for an outside shot at postseason play. One team going perhaps for an NIT berth, even if they were to lose tomorrow in the title game, Wake Forest, and NC State needing this win for an NCAA bid. And now another foul away from the ball, and Wake will get it back when we return.
Here comes the offensive foul. He's going to spin right into the defender. There he is, going to rotate up. And he gets him for an offensive foul. Defensive player beats him to the spot. Drive him, beat him, turn him. The DBT.
11 minutes left.
A defining moment in South Africa's history wasn't an uprising or a coup. It was the formation of a soccer league during apartheid by political prisoners who'd lost their freedom but found hope in a game they loved. The same men who would go on to govern the new South Africa and then repay the game by inviting the world to come and play it with them. The 2010 FIFA World Cup on ESPN.
You're stuck on a treadmill. You're making minimum payments on your credit cards, and you just don't get anywhere. Let Consolidated Credit tell you the truth. When credit card companies are charging high interest, it's virtually impossible to pay off your debt. Let's say you owe $5,000 and your rate is 21%. Of your $100 minimum payment, $87 is interest. It'll take you over 33 years to pay off that debt. Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest. Get off the treadmill. Get on with your life. Call Consolidated Credit. They're the freedom people.
Call toll-free 1-800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
Welcome back to the East Coast. John Saunders and the rest of the world. Tim Brando and Dick Vitale with 9 minutes, 25 seconds left. NC State has opened up now a 6-point lead. And credit Charles Shackelford really playing on one leg in the last few moments to give NC State what is the largest lead of the second half of the Wolfpack.
John is silky smooth in that studio. He's got the smooth delivery of a guy like Tyrone Muggsy Bogues with the ball, who Wake's going to need a little while. Big basket.
Antonio Johnson puts it down for the Demon Deacons, and Muggsy Bogues staring at those numbers up top, waiting his turn on the bench with 4 fouls. That's been the storyline to this game. He got a quick third foul midway in the first half. Del Negro puts the basket down. They'll count it, and he collects the charge.
Vinny Del Negro with the good baseline move. Antonio Johnson with that score inside. Look at Dickie Stewart sitting next to Valvano to his left. Former head coach at Fordham University. On his staff was Steve Anderson, our coordinating producer of basketball. Steve was a basketball coach, and then he got intelligent and said, to heck with coaching. Let me go to the world of television.
Yeah. Shackelford picked up the foul. That's right. He's coaching you now. Anderson's coaching you.
That's why
and me and a lot of other people. Ralph Kitley at the line. They caught Shackelford away from the ball rather than the charge on Del Negro, but Wake Forest unable to convert. And the Wolfpack lead is 5 with 8:39 and counting.
Bob's got to make a decision now. I would start to get Bogues ready to play. I think it's getting down to crunch time. He's got to play with 4 fouls. 5-point lead. They score here. You're down 7. And that is big trouble. Notice the patience on the floor by Jackson. Trying to set up the angle to get it to Shackelford. They got a walking violation.
Yep, they caught Shackelford. Remember, he's playing with that bad leg. He thought he was forced out of bounds.
Well, there's no such thing as a force out in college basketball, Tim.
Yep, but that's what his argument was.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a force out. He's limping up and down the floor.
He gets the Courageous Award, the Purple Heart, if NC State wins this game. And literally on one leg for much of this game.
He started his career off. There, I told you about the 7-minute mark, and here comes our guy.
Muggsy Bogues will come in on the next whistle, and there it is. And mark it down in your memory bank. 7:57 left. Antonio Johnson leaves. Muggsy Bogues enters.
Look at this. Has played in 568 of 580 minutes. A kid like that, he never wants to stop playing. They tell me he practices as hard as he plays.
Only 14 minutes of action for Bogues today. Wonder how he may react to that. Normally he plays all 40 minutes. Del Negro with the foul.
He's in great shape condition-wise. You know, you talk about him about Bogues. He hooked up with Kenny Smith in the World Championship games, and what a tandem. They had all those people excited out there as the United States team, coached by Lute Olson, beat the Russians and the Sabonis-led team. David Robinson was a dominator in that game against Sabonis.
That was a team that did not look good early in the World Games. Many back here in the States were concerned about the quality of talent that Lute Olson had on the floor, and then they made that strong comeback the latter portion of the games in Madrid.
Watson, a good scorer, going to the line now from out of Memphis, where he averaged over 30 points a game. They got a great high school player. We mentioned him yesterday, Elliot Perry, up in the city of Memphis. I got a feeling Perry's going to end up at Memphis State with Larry Tubbs Finch, and that'd be a great choice. He'd be outstanding with Memphis State.
And the Tigers of Memphis State will be off probation next year. Will be able to go to postseason play, and they'll match up against Louisville tomorrow in the Metro Conference Championship. Louisville in a must-win situation to get a tournament bid, you would think.
Tubby Finch, my coach, has definitely the Rookie of the Year. A second choice would have to go to Eddie Fogler and Jimmy Larinaga, all doing great jobs as captains. Here we go, big possession right here.
Tucky Brown won't fall.
Not a good shooter. Brown really forces the action. He's got the great legs. He's got to work a little bit more on touch. Now here's the little guy. He's raring to go. He's got a full octane of gas, and he's ready to explode. Yes, sir. The little guy has arrived. Mr. Bogues, a PTPer in every sense of the word.
And Jim Valvano needs his team to be hitting on the Bogues cylinders the rest of the way. 7:08 remains. The Carolina State lead down to 1.
If you've had a heart attack caused by a completely blocked artery, another heart attack could be lurking, waiting to strike. A heart attack caused by a clot, one that could be fatal. But Plavix helps save lives. Plavix, taken with other heart medicines, goes beyond what other heart medicines do alone to provide greater protection against heart attack or stroke and even death by helping to keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots. Ask your doctor about Plavix, protection that helps save lives. People with stomach ulcers or other conditions that cause bleeding should not use Plavix. Taking Plavix alone or with some other medicines, including aspirin, may increase bleeding risk, so tell your doctor when planning surgery. Certain genetic factors in some medicines, such as Prilosec, may affect how Plavix works. Tell your doctor all the medicines you take, including aspirin, especially if you've had a stroke. If fever, unexplained weakness, or confusion develops, tell your doctor promptly. These may be signs of TTP, a rare but potentially life-threatening condition reported sometimes less than 2 weeks after starting Plavix. Other rare but serious side effects may occur.
If you owe more than $5,000 in credit card debt, medical bills, or if you're just struggling to make ends meet during these tough economic times, you may be eligible to reduce your debt by as much as 60%, lower your interest rates, and eliminate late payment fees and past penalties. Call the number on your screen now. It only takes a few minutes for our experts to find the program that fits you or your family best. Start living your life on your terms and end your debt for good.
Call 800-402-7101.
Our championship week continues on Sunday. Tomorrow, live coverage of the Southwestern Conference Championship at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Sunday night, we'll have same-day coverage of the ACC title game, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. And after this game is done, when Dick and I are through here at the Cap Center with the Wake Forest-NC State winner, then it'll be off to the UNLV-San Jose State game, coverage of that game out of the PCAA.
That's an interesting matchup with Ricky Berry. Remember that name of San Jose State, the Jerry Tarkanian. Walk like a Tarkanian is the big theme down in Vegas. They love their running Rebels. That place is one of the most exciting places for basketball.
Get your towel ready and start chewing with Jerry and company. Bolton with a nice move past Klein. Shackelford follows again.
Could be a foul on Shackelford. Oh, no.
Well, they got Keith. Eddie Wirtz gives it to Greg Keith. Bob Stack continues to lobby along the sidelines. Keith now has 3 fouls. He's had his moments, though, today. A tough job against Charles Shackelford with all of that experience against Jim Valvano.
Jim looks so reserved today. Looks very calm, cool. All he wants to do is be collective.
Most of the writers and observers here felt that last night's victory was a typical V win against Duke.
A lot of emotion. He's a great motivator. They go into a zone defense right now, Wake Forest. Playing a matchup defense. They call it their 2 defense. Look at them communicate. They release on cutters. You play a man in the area of the floor. You don't go all the way through with him when he cuts through the defense.
Chucky Brown from the top of the key. The roll not going his way. Klein with a rebound. 6:14 left. Wake could grab the lead right here.
Klein has been really solid. There's the signal for some motion offensively when he gives you that whirl move above his head.
Crowd becoming a Wake Forest crowd. The shot won't.
Look who rebounded. Will you believe that?
Oh,
look who came out with the rebound among all the Giants. The little fella, Tyrone.
Looking for the isolation, obviously, against Quentin Jackson.
He's going to shoot the jumper. He wants it. He's going to shoot it. Oh, no. He says, I'll give you one, big fella.
It won't fall, though. Del Negro with the rebound.
Oh, he got him the open shot, Tim. He has such instincts on the floor. Great court savvy. They said he was too small to play big-time college basketball. And they'll say the same thing about the NBA. And yet he'll make somebody's roster.
Boy, he's got to watch those arms, though, Bogues. That time he could have picked up his 5th. Del Negro
Here
has
he
it
goes.
stripped.
2-on-1. Watch the bounce pass. There it is.
Watson.
Thank you, Mr. Bogues. That's how you execute. 2-on-1. You stay a little wider than the lane, and then you use the bounce pass to finish it off in the 3rd phase of the running game, the conversion area.
That's the first Wake Forest lead since 25-23 at the 8-minute mark remaining in the first half. Benny Bolden. Chucky Brown and company down there to knock it away. Last touch, they say, by Sam Ivey.
Jim's going to try to get more offense. I believe he'll get Weems on the floor to try and get a little more speed and quickness.
There you see that nice bounce pass again inside.
Yeah, excellent bounce pass. Here comes Kelsey Weems on the floor, number 11. I saw him looking down the end of the bench. He's going to try and get a little bit more speed.
Giome's also come in for Chucky Brown.
Giomi a little better shooter.
Oh, a nice rejection by Ivey, but the foul in so doing.
If North Carolina State wins, it's going to be really difficult for Shackelford to line up. And remember, earlier this year, he missed the game against North Carolina, and it was blowout city. Personally, I think even if North Carolina State's healthy, you're looking at a blowout city versus Carolina.
Well, he got injured against Wake Forest, by the way, in a game you and I had. And then he couldn't play 2 days later, and Dean Smith's club romped at the Dean Dome. Shackelford at the line now.
I think North Carolina is just too strong in every phase of the game. The one team that had to beat them was Virginia. Virginia really does a great job defensively and in shot selection, and they're playing well right now. They had a 6-game winning streak going into that loss today to North Carolina. They played their hearts out. What a great game they played against Carolina.
Had they been able to inbound the ball with 7 seconds left, they might have won. But again, Carolina's defense was too strong. 4:43 left now. Still Wake on top by 1 after the misses at the line by Shackelford, who obviously is playing in pain, but even when healthy, not an outstanding free throw shooter by a long stretch.
Inch for inch, he's got to be the most dominant player in college basketball. The best little man in the game. He's got to be the recipient of that award that they give to the best little guy. It's part of the Naismith Awards. That Naismith banquet, I'm speaking at it again this year. John Stein's group do an excellent job in awarding the trophy out to the best college player and also to the best women's player.
Benny Del Negro picked up the foul, his 3rd. And once again, Wake Forest at the line looking to extend their lead. Watson with a chance to give the Demon Deacons a 3-point advantage. 4:26 left.
He averaged 12.6 last year. Normally a good shooter. Both teams coming up empty on that free throw line at a crucial time. Shackelford with 2 bricks and Watson with 1.
It won't be the prettiest of victories for either club going into the ACC tournament, but the coaches Stack and Valvano will take it just the same.
Oh, it'd be a sweet feeling to get that W. There they are, swinging the ball side to side, trying to get some good ball reversal.
A lot of contact between Giome and Keith down low. And remember, Sam Ivey now is playing with 4 fouls down low for the Demon Deacons as well. Shot clock down to 9. Bolton stripped by Ivey, out of bounds to North Carolina State. Just 6 seconds left on the shot clock now as the inbounds pass will be made by Benny Bolden.
Last time they went to the finals was 1983. That was the year they won the national championship.
Del Negro with the double clutch. He follows again, rejected by Keith. And again, it's getting physical on the offensive boards for North Carolina State. Brown shot won't fall.
Oh, foul by Del Negro. No, they
may have picked up Ivey. He did. I believe that was a foul on Ivey, or not, no foul. He just touched it out of bounds. It could have been perhaps a foul, though.
I thought a foul on Giomi, not Del Negro, right there. But no, the ball is deflected out of bounds off a Wake Forest player.
Every time the ball goes down low, Bob Stack has got to be breathing a sigh of relief now because Ivy could be gone. Keith has 3 fouls as well, and they need all of that to contain an injured Shackelford or even Giomi down there. Giomi whirls, and Keith comes away with the rebound, and Muggsy Bogues leads the break. Rod Watson for 3. Muggsy Bogues collects the loose ball.
Always in the right place.
For 3. Chucky Brown with the rebound. Both clubs going ice cold the last 3.5 minutes.
They had 2 good opportunities by Klein, and also right there, that jump shot by Watson.
The winner of this game gets North Carolina for the ACC Tournament Championship tomorrow. Del Negro stops. Shot selection perhaps not what Valvano wanted that time.
Playing without Shackelford now. Shaq really hurt with that bad ankle. Can't go down the stretch any longer. He carried him up until this point. So they're going to use that clock. They want to force a one-on-one confrontation. They want Bogues to get in a one-on-one with Jackson. They don't feel Q's quick enough. Notice how I'll play off him. He's going to let him shoot the jumper, but not beat him with the drive.
Shackelford will be coming back into the game for the last 2 minutes. Valvano gave him the blow. He'll come in when the whistle stops play again.
These 2 guys hooked up in high school against each other. DeMather against Dunbar right here. Morgan Wooten.
There's the screen from Keith.
Oh, look at him blow through, and he lost the ball.
Over-penetrating that time. Quentin Jackson on the other end.
He gets the score.
Count it. Quentin Jackson.
Little conversation. Did he get fouled prior to releasing the ball? I'll take a look. Muggsy loses the ball. He gets in there. Chucky Brown, there's the outlet. They get the ball out to Quentin Jackson. Are they going to count the goal? He gets grabbed. Does he? I thought he got grabbed prior to releasing the ball.
Well, they counted the basket. NC State now by 1.
Oh, here it is. This is the call. On a breakaway. On a breakaway. If you have a breakaway, Bob Stack really upset here. If you have a breakaway situation and you have the ball and you're going in for the score on the intentional foul, it's 2 shots plus the basket. I think they even get the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, they do.
I think they get the ball out of bounds with this. When you're shooting the ball, it's a 2-shot situation.
That's a difficult call, however, when you stop and think about it. John Moreau now over discussing the issue. I should say Lenny Wirtz with some of the officials that they have, some of the assistants alongside. Jimmy Valvano also listening in. There's no doubt, though, that if it was an intentional foul, it would be 2 shots plus the ball out of bounds. And that's what they're discussing right now, but that's a difficult call to make. The intentional foul here.
Okay, now the rule is to stop guys fouling. He grabs him. He definitely grabs him. Now the ball rolls down. There's Lenny Wirtz. He's going to go converse with John Moreau. I think Lenny Wirtz made a good call. He definitely grabbed him, and he definitely converted the goal. It's a 2-shot foul, intentional, and the basket counts if you grab the player who's ahead of the pack.
Boy, that is a difficult call, and Bob Stack has had a couple of them go against him today. That charge or block that garnered the 4th foul against Muggsy Bogues to start the second half, you may recall, dictated a lot of the tempo here in the second 20 minutes.
They're still not sure of what they got here. The officials are talking about it.
Ivy now has come over. Valvano obviously is happy with things. They will not let Ivy back into the game. That's what the last discussion was about. He's trying to get into the game, but they won't allow him until after Jackson goes to the line.
They don't lose the ball, though. They don't lose the ball. In other words, Wake Forest will get the ball. They do not get it out of bounds. After the score here, it's ruled by Lenny Wirtz.
What a story Quentin Jackson, though, has become. He became a starter about 2 weeks ago. They got 3 regular season W's, and he had a great game last night handling the pressure of Tommy Amaker. And again today, even though Bogues has been in foul difficulty, he has held his own in controlling the game's tempo for Valvano.
And he makes both free throws.
Now it appears that Wake will get the ball now. 58-55. NC State now is down to 3. Well, that's interesting.
Big play right there by Jackson. Now Bogues, they need a big bucket right here.
They're trying to set screens for Bogues each time down.
Notice how they play off him, though. Jackson, when he gets the ball, he'll play off him. He's not going to get right up on him, allowing that penetration.
Big trip for the Demon Deacons. Shot
There's
clock
a screen,
at 19.
goes for 3.
Yes.
And he delivers the big basket. But what a screen he got. Keith laid a great screen to free him for that jump shot.
10 points for Tyrone Muggsy Bogues. He's only played 18 minutes in this game, saddled with foul difficulty throughout. We're tied. Shackelford
coming back in after the little rest. There's no tomorrow. He's going to forget about the ankle right now. Wake Forest with the ball. State would get it back, though.
20-second differential. If NC State gets the ball, we'll have to wait and see if that happens. Wake must convert when they come back. We're tied.
Being able to meet when you want allows you to do a lot more with your day.
I go running with the dogs, and then I do most of my meetings in my running clothes.
You can just be working on it at the same time, and you don't have to be in the same place.
It allows you as a business to be more flexible. Just allows you to do more with less.
Put meetings in their place with GoToMeeting. With one click, GoToMeeting lets you hold online meetings from anywhere. Everyone in your meeting can give presentations and sales demos, edit documents, and collaborate in real time, whether on a PC or a Mac. Hold unlimited online meetings with integrated phone and VoIP conferencing for just $49 a month.
I started GoToMeeting, and now everybody's looking at the same document.
We're able to have the kind of informal dialogue with the clients that is like being there.
I use GoToMeeting to reinvent how we do business.
GoToMeeting lets you do things that otherwise you just wouldn't do.
We just couldn't function without it.
Try GoToMeeting free today. Visit GoToMeeting.com and use the promo code SPORTS.
The NASCAR Nationwide Series at Richmond, Friday at 7 Eastern on ESPN2.
We're tied at 58. Tim Brando and Dick Vitale with you. Another timeout has been called, this time by Jim Valvano at NC State. Now, interestingly, after the shot by Quentin Jackson, the intentional foul called, NC State did not hold on to the ball, and normally on an intentional foul, you get possession after the free throws, right?
Tim, basically what the rule is, specifically it's written in a rule book. On a breakaway, if he scores, he gets the 2 shots and he does not get possession. If on a breakaway he would have missed that shot, it would have been 2 shots intentional plus possession. But now let's go down to the strategy. You got 59 on the clock. You got Wake with the basketball. So they just had another timeout. Right now, with the score tied, they're certainly going to play for the high percentage shot. And right now, they're going to try to isolate and get Bogues to get free, either to create or to get an open jump shot for Watson or for Klein.
Now, there's 37 seconds left on the shot clock. 59 in the game. NC State must get the ball back. That is, if Wake does not get the offensive rebound after launching the shot. Very, very big possession for two teams that must feel that they're in a must-win situation here in this semifinal. Watson off the iron, run down by
Oh, look at that hustle. The littlest guy again comes up with a rebound. What a nose. Now he can play for the last shot.
As we mentioned, the long rebound going to Wake Forest.
Oh, he's going to get a hand off him. That's right. The official should blow that. He cannot hand check the player. There's Weems against Weems knows it's going to come down to Bogues and Weems in terms of creating. Remember Kenny Smith in the open court. Got the winner against Virginia. Driving, slashing player. Going to try to open up the court for Bogues. Spread it out. Take it down to the wire. Lost in overtime to North Carolina State. It's big. It's big. There's the screen.
You see the time remaining.
Oh,
there's Klein. He'll shoot the fadeaway. And we're going to overtime again.
They did a great job defending Bogues. They shut down his penetration. Credit Jimmy Valvano's team. Good decision also to have Weems on the floor with his defensive quickness, but they shut down his penetration.
What did I tell you in the first game? The one problem with this tournament, they need 4 days. We've got another overtime coming right up.
State Line, Sabre, Interstate. New from Honda.
You're stuck on a treadmill. You're making minimum payments on your credit cards, and you just don't get anywhere. Let Consolidated Credit tell you the truth. When credit card companies are charging high interest, it's virtually impossible to pay off your debt. Let's say you owe $5,000 and your rate is 21%. Of your $100 minimum payment, $87 is interest. It'll take you over 33 years to pay off that debt. Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest. Get off the treadmill. Get on with your life. Call Consolidated Credit. They're the freedom people.
Call toll-free 1-800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
Overtime underway. North Carolina State controls it. Shackelford playing injured. Del Negro injured, and now apparently Quentin Jackson injured. Someone, I think, stepped on Quentin Jackson.
No, it looks like he got smacked in the eye.
Yeah, he did, right in the face. He got an elbow from someone, maybe even Shackelford, when he made the turn with the ball. I think that's what happened. Shackelford got control of the ball when he turned to hand it to Q. He nailed it with the elbow.
Bogues uses a lot of fakes defensively when he plays against an offensive player.
Shackelford finding Benny Bolden from outside. Both teams cold in the second half. There's a foul on Ivey. That should be all for Sam Ivey. Bob Stack now really in deep trouble down on the blocks.
There's the jump shot by Bolton. Chucky Brown's a quick jumper. Good hands. Notice the hands right there. Takes it up, gets body contact, and now goes to the line. Not really a polished shooter, though.
So now they'll have to do it without one of the players that, while he's not very tall, he certainly plays taller than his 6'7" height.
He's had a great year this year. An all-ACC rookie, maybe all-ACC rookie team. J.R. Reed, certainly the rookie of the year in the ACC.
There you see the semifinal score from earlier today. North Carolina in double overtime, beating Virginia. And now you've got Ivey out of the game. They replaced him, Dick, with Tony Black at 6'4". Some quickness, but then again with Shackelford down there, you got to believe NC State can just keep going down to the post.
Well, Bobby Stack is limited in the number of rotations he can make from his bench. He only has X number of players, doesn't have that kind of personnel to be able to match up, and he goes to Black, the good athlete.
60-58.
North Carolina State jumped out early in the overtime yesterday against Mike Krzyzewski's Duke team. They're doing the same here.
Makes the third overtime game we've had in the tournament. Bogues, yes! The foul, perhaps on Bolden, it appears.
He didn't use the screen. The screen was set up for him to drive to his right. Look, there's the screen. He goes the other way away from the screen and still beats the defensive player and then lays it down. Now watch him. See, he goes opposite the screen. There's three laying the screen, Keith. And then there's the contact on him. Nice soft touch. He has really improved this perimeter game and his free throw shooting.
They whistled Shackelford rather than Bolden. That's 3 on Charles Shackelford. Wake now regains the lead by 1 with 4:18 left in the overtime. It's been survival of the fittest for these two teams. Quentin Jackson bombs away. Klein with the rebound for Wake Forest.
Klein lost 15 pounds and is a much better player this year. A little overweight last year. They try to run the spots out of their running game, Klein and Watson. I love the way he stares at a defensive player, Bogues, when he gets the ball. He gets into what we call the triple threat position. You can drive, you can pass, or you can shoot.
Tony Black picked up by Benny Bolden. Shot clock now a factor. Wake Forest using it as much as they can to isolate Bogues. And again, out of bounds. Last touch by Bolden. And Wake Forest controls it. 12 seconds left on the shot clock for Bob Stack's club. And now it's Kelsey Weems and Mike Giommi re-entering the game. On the defensive end, Valvano makes that substitution. Shackelford and Jackson out. Giommi comes in along with Kelsey Weems. Knocked away. Last touched by Bogues. Weems made it happen, and that defensive substitution by Valvano looks awfully good.
Yeah, an excellent move by Jimmy. Gets in the quicker player.
It's where you mentioned that last night. Down the stretch in tournament games, Valvano makes the right call usually.
He's an excellent bench coach. Does a solid job on a bench. His decisions are outstanding. My voice is dying today.
Well, you're deserving. You're deserving of a quick breath of fresh air when this game's over. It's been a long day, but a fun day here on ESPN. Shackelford. Both teams really struggling on the offensive end.
Look at this play right here. What an excellent penetration move by Bogues. Hey, and the big guy got out in transition. He filled the lane. Number 3, Keith. I think there's great hope for Wake Forest. If Keith and Kitley, the K&K guys, can really work on a game in the summer, they can be an improved team. But oh, how are they going to replace Tyrone Bugsy Bogues?
Benny Bolden may need to launch a three-pointer here. 2:34 left, and it's a 3-point Wake Forest lead. That's their largest lead of the second half. Bolden drives and is fouled.
Bolden using the right hand, showing he's ambidextrous. Here he is taking the ball to the goal.
And once again, the defensive substitution being made by Valvano. Giommi re-enters with Weems.
Look at Muggsy right now in transition. He knows he's got a player on the right. Look, he looks left, kicks it. Actually, he looked to his right and kicked it to his left. He's so tricky in transition, a one-man fast break.
We mentioned it's been a fun day on ESPN. It doesn't stop here. We just keep on with college basketball. Helping to piece together tomorrow's 64-team field. By the way, Dick Vitale, who will be out on the West Coast, will be joining our Bob Lee, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time for our Selection Central, if you will, after the 64-team field is pieced together.
I'll also be on with Bob tomorrow at 11 a.m. on This Week in Sports. We'll talk about some of the teams that are on the bubble, and Bob will set the stage and dissect what's happening, and I'll be ready to deal with them.
Wake Forest leads it by 1.
This is where legends are born, where legends are born, legends are born.
One of the most impressive performances in NBA Finals history.
The NBA's second season.
This is where teams are made and make history.
Where 16 wins separate the great from the immortal.
The teams are made and make history.
The NBA playoffs, Hawks Bucks, and Lakers Thunder, Friday on ESPN.
IRS problems? Associated Tax Relief can help you. What you're about to see and hear is real.
Associated Tax Relief got me a settlement of $500. This company really does what they say they're going to do.
We owed the IRS over $135,000.
All we did was hire the right people to work for us. Associated Tax saved us $99,000.
Associated Tax Relief has helped taxpayers settle their tax debt for less than what they owed.
We owed the IRS over $82,000 in back taxes.
Associated Tax Relief's attorney was a former IRS agent who knew what to do.
His hard work settled our tax debt for only $4,600.
Thousands of taxpayers across the nation have put their trust in Associated Tax Relief.
I owed nearly $115,000 and needed help fast. Associated Tax settled my tax debt for way less than what I owed. They saved me over $93,000.
Yes, you can solve your IRS problems, and yes, we can help you.
For a free consultation, call 888-775-9482 now.
Time running down now on NC State and Wake Forest, and their March futures are at stake. 2:15 remaining, and the Wake lead is 1.
Little weave outside, playing a little three-man game with Bogues, Klein, and Watson.
A lot of pressure on Kelsey Weems against Tyrone Bogues. He did the job at the close of regulation. That time, Bogues got ahead of him, though. The dish to Keith. He wasn't ready for it, though. Shot clock down to 3. They may run out of time here.
Got to shoot it.
They got it off.
They want to wave it off.
1 second, it appeared, was on the clock. Lenny Wirtz is going over to the official timekeeper now to check on the clock. Boy, what a break for Valvano. What a break. First, the fortunate shot, and Bob Stack can't believe it. He's blowing his stack right now. Boy, what a tough call this is.
Here's the shot. We don't have the shot clock right here, so we can't tell. There. Split feed. We are not in control of this, Tim.
We do, though, realize that time was running down. And I'm not so certain that that was the proper call. If not, another tough call going against Wake Forest. Giomi.
Oh, that's a power move. He's been soft all year long, but he takes that one up strong. He's got to utilize that big body. Big, strong inside power move by Mike Giomi.
Bogues, Lenny Wirtz, Quentin Jackson were right there, and the foul drawn by Jackson.
There's the penetration right here. Quentin Jackson can't stay with the little guy. The little guy is so quick. He's ultra quick.
Well, you know, Valvano would have loved to have had Weems in there, but he didn't have the dead ball to get Kelsey Weems back into the game. He is still motivating on the sidelines with his staff. Dick Stewart to the left. 1 minute. And 8 seconds left.
He has really, as we talked about earlier, worked so diligently to make himself a better player with his perimeter skills, especially on the free throw line, where he really was a problem early in his career. But right now, he's smooth, and he wants to be at the line. He's not afraid of the pressure.
Cal Boyd, you saw up there with the ovation for Bogues. And give Boyd some credit. While Bogues was on the Pines, he helped keep Wake in this game. North Carolina State never was able to make that crucial run during the 14 minutes that Bogues was on the Pine.
They couldn't apply the knockout punch.
And a timeout with 1:05 left. North Carolina State trailing the Demon Deacons by 1 in overtime.
You're stuck on a treadmill. You're making minimum payments on your credit cards, and you just don't get anywhere. Let Consolidated Credit tell you the truth. When credit card companies are charging high interest, it's virtually impossible to pay off your debt. Let's say you owe $5,000 and your rate is 21%. Of your $100 minimum payment, $87 is interest. It'll take you over 33 years to pay off that debt. Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest. Get off the treadmill. Get on with your life. Call Consolidated Credit. They're the freedom people.
Call toll-free 1-800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
These are the faces of the people who live in Hampton, Minnesota. Folks here call it Happy Town. Don't let the name fool you. Series premiere tonight at 10/9 Central on ABC.
And that tiebreaker, Dick Vitale mentioned how that works in the Big Ten. So it's off to Indianapolis for Bob Knight. Good news for Hoosier fans.
That's not definite. That's up to the committee, Tim. That just simply means that they are the automatic selection for the field of 64. So okay, let's get down to here now. Oh, what a nice pass by Jackson. A breakdown defensively. There's a breakdown defensively by Wake Forest. Jackson recognizes it, gets the open Chucky Brown.
Boy, and now it's a 1-point lead for the Wolfpack. 45 seconds left. Shot clock not a factor when we come back.
remember dating and one after the other that was just unsuccessful. And I had a friend say, look, this eHarmony thing, it works. You should try it. It gave me hope because I'm like, you know what? It's not the method that I've been using. It's something new. It's something different.
eHarmony provides that way to meet somebody you're compatible with.
When you're with the right person, and you're like, wow, this is exciting.
Feel the difference of being matched based on 29 dimensions of compatibility. And now review those matches free at eHarmony.com.
IRS problems? Associated Tax Relief can help you. What you're about to see and hear is real.
Associated Tax Relief got me a settlement of $500. This company really does what they say they're going to do.
We owed the IRS over $135,000.
All we did was hire the right people to work for us. Associated Tax saved us $99,000.
Associated Tax Relief has helped taxpayers settle their tax debt for less than what they owed.
We owed the IRS over $82,000 in back taxes.
Associated Tax Relief's attorney was a former IRS agent who knew what to do.
His hard work settled our tax debt for only $4,600.
Thousands of taxpayers across the nation have put their trust in Associated Tax Relief.
I owed nearly $115,000 and needed help fast. Associated Tax settled my tax debt for way less than what I owed. They saved me over $93,000.
Yes, you can solve your IRS problems, and yes, we can help you.
For a free consultation, call 888-775-9482 now.
It's come down to this. 40 seconds left. Shot clock is off, and Wake Forest down by one, needing a basket to move into the finals tomorrow against Carolina.
He's not going to take it down to the last second either, because if they come up empty, they got to have some time to possibly get the ball back again, Tim. And he's got to go for the first good shot. Oh, they come
Watson shot right off the iron, and it couldn't have been a better opportunity for Wake Forest. They've got a foul here, you must think.
Yeah, you don't want to foul Del Negro, though.
Bogues gets it away to Kelsey Weems, and there's a foul. It'll be a two-shot foul, says John Moreau, against Greg Keith. And so Bob Stack now stares at a situation where if the shots go down, he'll have to have a three-point shot to tie, and Keith is out of the game now.
There's a strong drive by Watson. He comes up empty. Giomi with the big rebound. Now he kicks it out. Could have been a foul right here, bumping him right there. Could have called 1-16. Now they're going to kill some time. Clock is moving. Del Negro, an excellent shooter. Weems, they got Weems later on. We missed it. But Weems going to the line right now. I would rather have Weems on the line if I were Bob Stack than Vinny Del Negro.
Oh, absolutely.
Remember this now with 9 seconds to go. If he converts both with the three-point shot, with Klein and also Watson on the floor and Bogues, their perimeter people can't shoot it. So it's important now for Jimmy to extend defensively with his team and play the perimeter people, because you look at this club right now, they do not have a good inside game.
Kelsey Weems has not taken a shot from the field or the line so far today. A pretty big shot awaits him when we come back.
If you've had a heart attack caused by a completely blocked artery, another heart attack could be lurking, waiting to strike. A heart attack caused by a clot, one that could be fatal. But Plavix helps save lives. Plavix, taken with other heart medicines, goes beyond what other heart medicines do alone to provide greater protection against heart attack or stroke and even death by helping to keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots. Ask your doctor about Plavix, protection that helps save lives.
People with stomach ulcers or other conditions that cause bleeding should not use Plavix. Taking Plavix alone or with some other medicines, including aspirin, may increase bleeding risk, so tell your doctor when planning surgery. Certain genetic factors and some medicines, such as Prilosec, may affect how Plavix works. Tell your doctor all the medicines you take, including aspirin, especially if you've had a stroke. If fever, unexplained weakness, or confusion develops, tell your doctor promptly. These may be signs of TTP, a rare but potentially life-threatening condition reported sometimes less than 2 weeks after starting Plavix. Other rare but serious side effects may occur.
Here comes the changeup.
There's that changeup of beauty.
Fastball up and in.
Fastball up and in for a ball.
Slider in the corner.
Okay, guys, can we just watch the game?
But he's tipping his pitches.
No, I know. Because it's not like it's annoying or anything. It's just I hate it a lot. Thanks for coming over.
Backdoor curve.
Still doing it. It's still that thing we were talking about.
And we head to the last of the fifth on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
Weems has already connected for one free throw. It's a 2-point game. 9 seconds left. Bob Stack can only sit and watch.
If he converts this, and I'm Jimmy Valvano, token pressure number 1.
Oh,
and then I would have fouled. But now since he missed it, you can't foul here. Down 2.
Bogues dishes.
Another OT'er.
Yes. There we go. Back to a double overtime.
Another OT'er.
Antonio Johnson off the feed from Bogues. And here we go again. Wake can see the forest for the trees.
Kelsey Weems with the big miss on a free throw line. And then they convert and score in transition. If he would have made that, I really believe Valvano would have fouled, forcing him to go to the line to shoot 2 and be up 1 and then inbounds the ball.
The NASCAR Nationwide Series at Richmond, Friday at 7 Eastern on ESPN2.
IRS problems? Associated Tax Relief can help you. What you're about to see and hear is real.
Associated Tax Relief got me a settlement of $500. This company really does what they say they're going to do.
We owed the IRS over $135,000.
All we did was hire the right people to work for us. Associated Tax saved us $99,000.
Associated Tax Relief has helped taxpayers settle their tax debt for less than what they owed.
We owed the IRS over $82,000 in back taxes.
Associated Tax Relief's attorney was a former IRS agent who knew what to do.
His hard work settled our tax debt for only $4,600.
Thousands of taxpayers across the nation have put their trust in Associated Tax Relief.
I owed nearly $115,000 and needed help fast. Associated Tax settled my tax debt for way less than what I owed. They saved me over $93,000.
Yes, you can solve your IRS problems, and yes, we can help you.
For a free consultation, call 888-775-9482 now.
Running out of adjectives and adverbs, perhaps, down the stretch run. We have seen so much in this ACC tournament. A second overtime period again today. North Carolina already in tomorrow's final. NC State and Wake Forest, their neighbors on Tobacco Road, looking to be the other entrant.
Number 33, Shackelford, still limping.
What a courageous performance by several players. Vinny Del Negro was hurt. Shackelford's been hurt. Bogues coming in off the bench. And there's Shackelford with the right hand.
Shoots that little jump hook along the baseline. He's got to, again, work all summer on drop steps and posting and taking the ball strong to the basket with a dribble move.
Nice screen by Kitley. Watson is caught. Chucky Brown picks up the foul. Much to the chagrin of Jim Valvano. Lenny Wirtz made the call.
Chucky Brown getting a lot of time now. Good athlete, a good jumper. You can't teach a guy how to jump and run.
And so Rod Watson goes to the line. Well, he's glad that Antonio Johnson came through because he had a gimme in the lane and it missed. It could have perhaps won the game in our first overtime.
It was a tougher shot than it looked, though, Tib. He changed hands from the right to the left hand and tried to lay it down as you look at Bob Stack and Jerry Wainwright, his assistant.
Valvano fatigued. You're right. It was sort of a finger roll effect and it went off the back iron.
Watson looks like he's recovered from that hand injury that he had earlier in the year.
Neither team shooting that well in the second half of play, but defense has had much to do with that. And the pace has picked up dramatically from the first half, not unlike our 2 games from last night's quarterfinal session. I've almost forgotten who won the first game. Seems like yesteryear.
Oh, nice pass by Shackelford.
And Chucky Brown collects another slam. That's his second in 2 overtimes. Chucky getting the starting nod today, has 13, and Carolina State by 2.
Shackelford normally shoots that little jump shot. He found the open man.
Bogues' shot won't fall. Chucky Brown collects it.
And he tucks it under his arms, and he protects the ball. He said, I got gold. See, they're trying to take Bogues away from the basketball. Jackson holds it and then gives it up. And they're trying to take him away so he can't pressure the ball.
Bolton. Rod Watson with the rebound. And Bogues huffing and puffing, looking for Klein. Del Negro hammers down the offensive and defensive boards for a guard. Benny Del Negro playing both ends of the floor so well, and he too injured earlier in this game.
It's so difficult to just catch the ball like Klein did and shoot that stationary jump shot coming down in transition. That's a special art that players really have to work on.
Good pass. Del Negro to Shackelford. Out of bounds. Klein was on the floor. The ball inadvertently fell in his hand, and he was on the inline.
There's Shackelford taking it up strong. I thought they were going to get Shackelford for a foul over the back of Kitley.
There you see where the touch was made by Klein. Moreau right in position to make the call. NC State with a 2-point lead when we return.
Niagara Falls, the ultimate torture test for a deck. The ultimate protection, Thompson's Water Seal. Chosen to protect the most water-drenched decks in America. The decks at Niagara Falls. Thompson's Water Seal. The most powerful protection against water damage, guaranteed.
Inventors, do you have an idea for an invention or a new product? InventHelp can help you try to patent your idea and submit it to companies. InventHelp is America's largest invention company with sales offices in over 50 cities nationwide. Call today for your free information.
You're stuck on a treadmill. You're making minimum payments on your credit cards, and you just don't get anywhere. Let Consolidated Credit tell you the truth. When credit card companies are charging high interest, it's virtually impossible to pay off your debt. Let's say you owe $5,000 and your rate is 21%. Of your $100 minimum payment, $87 is interest. It'll take you over 33 years to pay off that debt. Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest. Get off the treadmill. Get on with your life. Call Consolidated Credit. They're the freedom people.
Call toll-free 1-800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
2 minutes and 55 seconds left in the second overtime period. Wake Forest and NC State locked in a duel for the ACC championship chance against North Carolina tomorrow afternoon.
Wake Forest going to a zone defense right now. Been playing straight man-to-man. No, they're back in a man-to-man. They're just playing off. He's got to play Del Negro tougher than that. Del Negro being played by Bogues, a good shooter.
Kitley really battling with Shackelford down low. They go to Bolton inside, and he gets the roll. And the state lead is out to 4.
Bolton was able to get in real deep down inside on the interior. They didn't deny him the ball and beat him to the spot. They allowed him to get that low. Good touch, too, by Benny Bolton.
Big possession now for the Demon Deacons. No one is led by more than 4 in the overtime period, either the first one or this one.
Oh, he had the screen.
Inside, Tony Black has it. Bodying up against Bolden. Watson for 3. Chucky Brown with another big rebound down low.
He's so quick to the ball. He's got that natural rebounding instinct.
That's 12 boards for him.
That's what makes Jerome Lane a great rebounder. He didn't rebound today as Syracuse blew him out.
Wake Forest now in need of a turnover. And there's a foul away from the ball. Black and Klein and Brown were all bodying up on one another. It was Black that got the foul.
Jimmy Valvano's yelling, "You shoot it, Benny. You shoot it, Benny." I think I'd rather see Benny Bolton at the line.
It's the second foul on Black. Tyrone Bogues now facing another uphill battle. And Bolton at the line. He's outstanding there, all around 83% all year long.
North Carolina State again trying to set the stage for the people, Tim. Trying to get the scenario set. They're trying for that NCAA berth.
Out of bounds, and another break for Valvano. Last touch by Klein, and Bob Stack can't believe what's happening to his team down the stretch of this second overtime.
It's certainly not automatic yet, even if North Carolina State wins, but they got a great chance with a 5-game winning streak. If they were to win here today, even if they lose to Carolina, Wake Forest trying to get an NIT bid and avoid a losing season with a win here. We're just assuming that North Carolina might be too strong for either club. They've certainly proven it during the course of the year. They're using a lot of time now.
Yeah, they really are.
Shackelford's playing a release man at the high post. Spreading the court.
And Bogues nearly causing the turnover. Remember, he's playing with 4 fouls. Has been since midway through the second half.
They score here in this. Oh, turnover!
Bob Stack happened right in front of him. Remember, Tyrone Bogues and that defense had a lot to do with it.
Also, remember, the official is part of the play. If he gets hit with the ball on the floor, it would be the last guy who touched it. That would be the responsibility.
There you see Rod Watson entering the game. They need more offense.
Yeah, he comes in to give him the 3-point shooter.
A minute left. Tony Black finds Klein. And he gets the shooter's touch. And a timeout called by Wake Forest. 51 seconds left. It's not over yet. And it may be a long, long while before we're done today.
You owe more than $5,000 in credit card debt, medical bills, or if you're just struggling to make ends meet during these tough economic times, you may be eligible to reduce your debt by as much as 60%, lower your interest rates, and eliminate late payment fees and past penalties. Call the number on your screen now. It only takes a few minutes for our experts to find the program that fits you or your family best. Start living your life on your terms and end your debt for good.
Call 800-402-7101.
I'm not going to bed right now. I'm going to college. Thousands of people go to college in their pajamas every day. How is this possible? Because you can go to college online without leaving your home. Using your computer to get an online degree is really smart and easy. In fact, people with a degree on average earn $1 million more in their lifetime. So, how do you find a good online school? Well, get your computer and go online right now. Education Connection is a free service that connects hundreds of people each day to the best online colleges. And you don't want to pick the wrong online school. So, ladies, slip on your cute little fluffy slippers, and guys, cover up, please. And log on now, and Education Connection will send you their free success kit stuffed with information on online schools, scholarships, even degrees that take the least amount of time. This is a $100 value, and it's yours, free.
Log on to myschoolnow.com. That's myschoolnow.com. myschoolnow.com.
Wake Forest now 2 down, 51 seconds left. You know they have an opportunity to get the ball back. How do they defend NC State here?
Well, right now they're going to try to force the turnover, try to stop the ball from coming in bounds, get a 5-second violation. Remember, the ball must touch a player on the floor prior to the count of 5, as opposed to the NBA, where all you have to do is release it from the baseline prior to the count of 5.
More overtime periods have already been played than any other ACC tournament. Well, we've seen history, Dick.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's been exciting basketball. Certainly Bob James and all the ACC people have to be excited with the kind of play that has taken place here. See, they're going to try to deny.
We have a VHS tape of this. We'll put it in a time capsule and go over our memoirs someday. Here we go. And it's a 1-on-1 foul called quickly on Cal Boyd. And unfortunately for Wake Forest and Bob Stack, it's Del Negro that goes to the line.
And he's automatic. I mean, he is one of the great free throw shooters. Bob Stack knows he's in big trouble now. He converts here. You're 6 down. And you really got to pull out some miracles. But again, with the 3-point shot, 2 possessions can get you tied.
It's both. It would be a 4-point game almost. Well, not virtually icing it, but certainly meaning that Wake Forest would have to have 2 possessions.
Right, I blew that one. I meant 4 points instead of 6. You get a little weary right here. I'll tell you what, but you get a little weird. There's a look at Stack. He converts this right now. It's a big one right here because now it makes 2 possessions rather than 1 with a 3-point shot.
And the timeout called by NC State. And we're still sitting on 51 seconds. Boy, this game takes a while. They do need 4 days for this tournament.
Imagine being at 30,000 feet with a plane full of kids and you have a heart attack. That's what happened to me. I'm on an aspirin regimen now. My doctor told me it's the easiest preventative thing you can do.
Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
See your doctor. Simple.
Ground control. We have a problem. Switching to lithium power.
I feel better already.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the world's longest lasting AA battery and high-tech devices, just got better. Energizer, keep going.
Attention if you have diabetes.
Hello, I'm Alan Thicke. As the father of a child with diabetes, it's important that I keep up to date with the latest in treatments and technology. That's why I'm happy to tell you about a breakthrough in diabetes care through CCS Medical. You don't need to stick your fingers anymore. This new meter allows you to test on your arm, so it's virtually pain-free. Plus, it uses gold test strips. Real laser-etched gold in every strip provides the ideal testing surface for one of the most accurate readings possible. Best of all, CCS Medical can send you this meter at no cost. With CCS Medical, they deliver your diabetes supplies to your home. They work with Medicare or your insurance to process the paperwork. They even have nurses certified in diabetes available to answer questions. And for a limited time, CCS Medical will also send you a diabetes cookbook. All this from a company trusted and recommended by thousands of doctors around the country. Call CCS Medical today.
You got to get that quick score, Tim. You got to score quickly here and then foul again.
It's deja vu time. And a score. Bogues creating down low, picking up the foul, stopping the clock. And it's now a 4-point game, 75-71 NC State. Giomi with the foul. And Jim Valvano.
Why foul? See what he's saying? Why foul? Yeah. Why foul? Not a heady play. You stop the clock. You allowed him to set up a defense. If he gets the conversion right here, no one rotated over.
If this game ever concludes, we'll go to the PCAA and show you second half action live of our championship week. UNLV, the nation's #1 team, against San Jose State. I don't know that anyone, though, that would be watching this game would want it to end. It has just been that outstanding today here at the Cap Center in Landover.
Got a conversion. Got to get into some good full court pressure. Try to deny the ball, coming in bounds. Try to get the quick turnover. Now see, now you got to foul quickly. Brown would have been the guy to foul. Not a good free throw shooter. Now to get it in the hands of their real strong shooter.
Giomi might be one to foul. Del Negro had the
Chucky Brown's the guy. I would almost take an intentional foul and give him 2.
Oh, Bogues with the near steal against Jackson.
Running that clock down.
Well, it's tough to tuck it away now with Bogues out on the floor. They've got the foul.
Yeah.
Time getting away. Giomi, and it is a 1-and-1 foul. Dickens picked it up.
Well, he was going for the ball. The interpretation, I talked to Freddie Barakat, the supervisor of officials of the ACC. As long as they're going for the ball, it's a 1-and-1.
Giomi, 1 for 2 from the line so far today, and Weems comes back into the game. Quentin Jackson back to the sidelines for North Carolina State.
Giomi shooting 63% for the season in the ACC, 66% for the season.
And they'll ice him a bit. 19 seconds left in the second overtime. North Carolina State trying for the final. We'll see.
If you've had a heart attack caused by a completely blocked artery, another heart attack could be lurking, waiting to strike. A heart attack caused by a clot, one that could be fatal. But Plavix helps save lives. Plavix, taken with other heart medicines, goes beyond what other heart medicines do alone to provide greater protection against heart attack or stroke and even death by helping to keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots. Ask your doctor about Plavix, protection that helps save lives. People with stomach ulcers or other conditions that cause bleeding should not use Plavix. Taking Plavix alone or with some other medicines, including aspirin, may increase bleeding risk, so tell your doctor when planning surgery. Certain genetic factors in some medicines, such as Prilosec, may affect how Plavix works. Tell your doctor all the medicines you take, including aspirin, especially if you've had a stroke. If fever, unexplained weakness, or confusion develops, tell your doctor promptly. These may be signs of TTP, a rare but potentially life-threatening condition reported sometimes less than 2 weeks after starting Plavix. Other rare but serious side effects may occur.
And as Ryan Howard, the big slugger, comes to the plate, he's a pull hitter. They're going to shift for him around to the right.
Really? Even here.
Even here. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
We're always believing.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
The NBA playoffs, Hawks, Bucks, and Lakers Thunder. Friday on ESPN.
Giomi at the line with this crucial 1-and-1. And Wake will have another chance to send it to another overtime or win it with a three-point play.
Look at that penetration by the little guy.
Tony Black. It won't fall. Bolden with the rebound and Dickens with the foul.
Good foul by Dickens right there. Didn't allow the clock to run down, which was a good move.
Bob Stack got what he wanted there. He may have still another chance, depending on what happens at the line with Benny Bolden. Now, while he's an outstanding free throw shooter on the year, today, Bolden has had some difficulty. In fact, he is 5 of 6, but he missed a crucial 1-and-1 at the conclusion of the first overtime. So when it was on the line a while ago, it didn't fall.
Jimmy Valvano was right up there when he got that rebound. He said, come on, Benny, ice this, convert it. He said, put them both down. Come on, baby. Ooh. There's one. He puts this down. It's history.
Down the stretch, you look at free throw statistics, and sometimes it's deceiving. It's how they do down the stretch that's really important.
If he misses this, Tim, I would foul. I would definitely put token pressure and I'd foul. But he made it, so it's academic. If they can come up with a 4-point play.
Bogues lets it fly, doesn't fall, and Jim Valvano may be headed for another march in the NCAA.
It's another miracle by James T. Valvano. There he is with his buddy, Bob Stack. They're very close friends. Valvano now with 19 wins and 5 in a row goes on to meet the Tar Heels. Tar Heels are too strong for North Carolina State.
The March magic of Jim Valvano. The wand is alive and well